Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. It has been a heartbreaking 24 hours for the Detroit Police Department. We just got this photo of the police officer killed in the line of duty last night. His name is Rashean McClain. McClain was a 16-year veteran of the department. The other officer was shot in the leg and is recovering right now at Sinai Grace Hospital. The suspect was also shot. He's in custody at the hospital. Let's get to Sean Lay. Joins us now, and Chief Craig just updated us on the situation this afternoon. Sean, what have you learned?
Good evening, Karen. Chief Craig and Mayor Mike Duggan tonight saying Rashean McClain is a hero and an absolute leader for leading his men into this pitch black house here on the west side, down the stairs there, into the basement. They were looking for a man. That man was armed with this gun. He was waiting to ambush those officers. Rashean McClain, a 46-year-old, 16-year veteran of the Detroit Police Department, was a husband and father of two. He was shot and killed last night inside his home on Wyoming. A 28-year-old career criminal had cut the lights inside the upper level of the home and was waiting in the basement, armed with this rifle. Chief Craig, calling Officer McClain a hero, led the charge into the basement to get that gunman.
The officer made a conscious decision that it was time to go in and deal with a very dangerous situation.
The gunman, the chief says, using tactical skills of his own, shot twice as the officers came down the stairs, hitting McClain in the neck and badly wounding his partner, Officer Felipe Batum Bassi, a 2.5-year police veteran. He suffered a gunshot to his leg. The officers shot at point-blank range as they moved down the stairs into the basement.
The suspect came out from the left. He fired quickly twice, striking both officers. Both officers went down.
The suspect was hit running from the home and captured on the next block over. Hundreds of officers then poured into Sinai Grace Hospital, knowing how grave the situation was for Officer McClain.
We seem to lose the best of our officers in these tragedies. Officer Rashean McClain, by all accounts, was an officer that everyone looked up to, was a natural leader.
Back here live on the west side, the police chief saying the department's heart absolutely heartbroken. Mayor Duggan saying the city's heart also heartbroken. Let's talk about the partner who was shot in the leg here, Felipe Batum Bassi. We are told that is a very bad gunshot to his leg. The chief even saying there was some worries last night about paralysis in the leg. He is still in the hospital being cared for, and his mother is there with him. But last night the chief said he was in a lot of pain. That suspect, 28 years old, not been charged yet, so we're not naming him tonight. However, he was shot in the arm, taken to the hospital, and is recovering tonight. One quick thing. Look at the front picture window here of this house. Coming up at 5 o'clock, those are gunshots shattering that window from about 2 weeks ago. In fact, this entire house is riddled with bullets, including the garage. This is all part of a domestic violence situation that has erupted here last night, but has been going on. We're going to dig into that, Karen, and explain why this gunman was here, getting in the house with that gun.
All right, we'll check back with you at 5 o'clock as you bring up that part of the story. Thank you, Sean. In other news this afternoon, another deadly shooting on Detroit's west side causes the driver of this SUV to crash into a pole. Happened at Puritan and Myers. Police say a passenger in the car was shot and killed, while the driver is in the hospital with a gunshot wound listed serious. The driver heard gunshots, realized he was hit. Once he drove off, police are looking for the shooter. If you can help, give them a call. Macomb County prosecutors have charged this 18-year-old man with the murder of his girlfriend. Kevin Dixon of Warren is accused of killing the 20-year-old on Tuesday night. Police say the victim recorded Dixon pointing a gun at her and threatening her shortly before she was killed. Investigators say Dixon was arrested just 20 minutes later in East Point with the victim's body in the passenger seat right next to him. The judge denied bond for Dixon, who will be back in court next month. We are learning more about the UAW's decision to oust 2 of its leaders. The union is using the so-called Article 30 provision to target former President Gary Jones and Vance Pearson. Jones just resigned yesterday. Today, the union released a 9-page document outlining the claims against the men, and they include claims of falsified expense reports. Tonight at 5, business editor Rod Maloney going to show us where that money was allegedly going. Might have seen some rain this afternoon, kind of hit and miss, but still could slow down your evening rush. Let's get to the first forecast with Ben Bailey.
Yeah, Karen, definitely on the east side is where we're seeing a lot of that rain right now. So if you're in the metro zone, that's where those showers are the heaviest as we speak. We'll take a closer look at exactly where those showers are falling right now. And a lot of it's pretty much inside the city and right up the Lake St. Clair shoreline. In fact, we do have a lakeshore flood advisory, or warning, I should say, for parts of Macomb and St. Clair County with the winds we're expecting that are gusting already to nearly 30 miles an hour in spots. Right now, 29 that gust at Metro Airport, and these are going to stay in that vicinity at least until we get a cold front through here closer to midnight. That's also going to keep temperatures unseasonably mild and right around 50 degrees through about 10 o'clock. Rain finally comes to an end, and we've got a dry forecast going forward. Plus, our Turkey Week is looking a little bit more in focus. We'll check out that outlook in just a few minutes. Karen?
Thank you very much, Ben. It is the final day of impeachment hearings this week, with two key witnesses testifying on Capitol Hill. In the hot seat today, U.S. diplomat David Holmes and Fiona Hill, a former top White House Russia expert. Devin Scillian been following all of the latest from the newsroom and joins us with all of the developments. Devin.
Karen, an important part of the testimony centered on Holmes and a phone call that he says he overheard between President Trump and the ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. Then, when Holmes was questioned by Republicans, this testy exchange followed.
I then heard President Trump ask, so he's going to do the investigation. Ambassador Sondland replied that he's going to do it, adding that President Zelensky will do anything you ask him to do.
On September 7th, Morrison tells Taylor what Sondland told Trump, and September 8th, Sondland tells Taylor what Trump told Sondland. Nowhere is there a Holmes tells Taylor what the President of the United States told Sondland.
May I answer that
13
question?
conversations.
As for Fiona Hill, she recounted a July White House meeting with Ukrainian officials in which Ambassador Sondland said he was working with Rudy Giuliani to pressure Ukraine to do the investigations, to follow through on those. She then referenced a conversation with John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, about Giuliani's TV appearances.
I'd asked if there was anything that we could do about it. And Ambassador Bolton had looked pained, basically indicated with body language that there was nothing much that we could do about it. And he then, in the course of that discussion, said that Rudy Giuliani was a hand grenade that was going to blow everyone up.
She went on to say she believes that's basically what happened. The president has denied any wrongdoing, of course, and maintains that the entire impeachment inquiry is just politically motivated. Today's hearing is just about to wrap up. It looks to me like the Chairman Schiff is making his final remarks here, so we expect today's proceedings to be finished in the next couple of minutes. You can continue, though, watching on clickondetroit.com, and we'll have the latest here on Local 4 News at 5. Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Devin. We do have some big retail news to share with you today. Global retailer H&M just opened a store on Woodward Avenue. That's 25,000 square feet, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Our Paula Tubman brings us to downtown for a shopping guide that might brighten your holidays.
So this is one of the really cool things Detroit has done in reinventing and remodeling itself. It has these flex spaces, so it's one thing during one season and something else entirely during another season. And 'tis the season in Campus Martius. The shop houses are back. Unique local merchants selling all things Detroit. A short trip up Woodward and there is a magnificent almost 3 miles of shopping. 2, 1, Today, the cherry on top of the Thursday, as the brand H&M opened its doors to a huge, enthusiastic crowd.
I want $100. I want 100 too.
Some of whom were handsomely rewarded for waiting hours.
5:30 in the morning.
For the doors to open.
You see that? $500? $500. Great to see a fashion-forward company come to the heart of Michigan.
Under Armour, Moose Jaw, iconic brands.
So I'm pretty excited to see all the new investment happening here.
But what's truly magnificent about Detroit rolling out the holiday shopping carpet to become a destination to do commerce is that the independent merchant is king and queen.
So they're made with frankincense, sandalwood, and sage.
Nice. Detroit, yes, there's an accent on that word, Detroit. Detroit is the new black, could easily become one of your new favorite stores.
Actually, Detroit comes from Detroit being founded by the French in 1701. Sure. So we were essentially the Paris of the West. I love Brother Valérie's. She makes all of her handbags in Africa, shoes handcrafted as well. So currently we have 26 brands in the space.
Earlier this week, we found the marketing class from Farmington High School touring the shopping district for a lesson on how the shopping red carpet rolled out in Detroit could easily be called downtown is the new green.
But now it's like bustling, and you can see everyone going everywhere, and it's, you know, it's an actual like market now.
Crazy how there's a Nike store over there and there's Lululemon store right here, and it's just crazy how it's growing so fast.
Once you find your parking, the queue line takes you close to 3 miles from Campus Martius to the new center area, where there are new flavors of shopping and eateries. Simply put, there is a shop and grab mentality of going to regular places and buying stuff quick. And then there's the destination with the rich payoff of interesting places in Destination Detroit. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Still ahead, one of President Trump's key allies on the world stage facing criminal charges. What he's saying about that investigation sounds very familiar. But first, Dr. McGeorge is in studio.
Hey, Karen, you know, roughly 2 million American children suffer a sports-related concussion every year. And there are new laws in place to protect young athletes. But I'm going to look at the roadblocks that are making them difficult to enforce.
Up first, a car explosion caught on camera. You'll see another driver come to the rescue, and we're going to talk about the explosive combination that started it all.
Helping at-risk young adults get back on their feet, providing free food, shelter, education assistance.
And learning that there are people that care about them.
Tomorrow at 6 a.m.